If you want to know how politics works, you should read or at least know these 10 books. 1. The Wealth of Nations, written by Adam Smith in 1776, is a seminal work that revolutionized the way we understand modern economics. In this book, Smith not only details how the market works, but also gives us a comprehensive and meticulous overview of the principles that govern the interaction between supply and demand, competition, labor, specialization, and international trade. It is more than just an economic treatise. It is a true guide to understanding the dynamics that have shaped the capitalist system that prevails in much of the world. Criticisms of Adam Smith highlight his overly naive view of the market, ignoring the flaws and inequalities inherent in capitalism. His blind faith in self-regulation failed to consider the destructive power of monopolies and the concentration of wealth in a few hands, which undermines the competition he so strongly advocated. His lack of attention to environmental limits reflects a short-term and myopic view of economic progress, which has contributed to the current ecological and social crisis. 2. Human Action by Ludwig von Mises, 1949. This treatise is one of the pillars of the Austrian School of Economics, a strong case for free market capitalism. Mises does not mince words. His approach is direct, and his analysis is thorough. Although it is a dense book full of technicalities, it is essential for anyone who wants to understand the foundations of economic liberalism. 3. My Struggle, written by Adolf Hitler in 1925, is a controversial and disturbing work that reflects the ideas that shaped National Socialism, the ideology that led to one of the darkest periods in world history. This book is, without a doubt, a direct window into the mind of its author, Adolf Hitler, and his racist, authoritarian, and expansionist thoughts. It is not only a historical document, but a manifesto that allowed us to understand how a set of deeply destructive ideas was able to take root in German society and lead to the outbreak of the Second World War. Talking about Mein Kampf is not easy, as its content is as grim as the consequences it unleashed in Europe and the entire world. However, to understand the horrors that took place during World War II and the Holocaust, it is essential to delve into the pages of this book, not with the aim of justifying the atrocious actions that took place, but to understand how the most perverse ideologies can take shape, expand, and push societies to the brink of total destruction. This book reminds us how dangerous the combination of hatred and power can be in the wrong hands. 4. The Doctrine of Fascism by Benito Mussolini and Giovanni Gentile, 1932. Although signed by Mussolini, this essay was, to a large extent, the work of Giovanni Gentile. It defines fascism not only as an ideology, but as a political project that seeks the totalization of power in the hands of the state. It is essential reading to understand how authoritarian ideas can seduce the masses and how, through propaganda, reality can be manipulated. 5. From the Good Savage to the Good Revolutionary by Carlos Rangel, 1980. Carlos Rangel offers us a critical view of the history of Latin America from a liberal perspective that contrasts sharply with the vision of authors such as Eduardo Galeano. It is a book that invites us to reflect on our history, on the myths that have fueled our revolutions, and on the ideas that have shaped the continent. 6. The Antichrist by Friedrich Nietzsche, 1895. Nietzsche is a philosopher who leaves no one indifferent. In The Antichrist, he harshly attacks Christian morality, one of the foundations of Western civilization. Although it is not a book of politics in the strict sense, its critique of the values on which our society is based makes it an important read for those seeking to understand the forces that have shaped our civilization. 7. Capital by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, 1867. To talk about political theory without mentioning capital would be an unforgivable mistake. This book is not only the foundation of Marxism, but has influenced political and social movements around the world. Through its pages, Marx and Engels offer us a devastating critique of capitalism, a critique that continues to resonate today. 8. The Prince by Niccolò Machiavelli, 1532. This classic of political literature is a treatise on power, on how to acquire it and maintain it. Machiavelli offers us a stark vision of politics, one in which the end justifies the means. Although written almost 500 years ago, it remains a reference work for understanding politics in its most raw and realistic form. 9. Politics by Aristotle, 350 BC. In this book, Aristotle talks about the political community, about how to form the best government, and about the powers necessary to maintain it. It is a work that invites us to reflect on the foundations of the state, on what makes a government fair and effective. 10. The Social Contract by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, 1762. This book is one of the pillars of modern political theory. Rousseau speaks to us about liberty and equality, and how these should be the axes of any state that considers itself legitimate. Although it is a work that has been criticized by many, especially by liberals, its influence on the French Revolution and on political thought in general is undeniable. These are just some of the books that can help you understand politics from different perspectives. Each one of them is a gateway to a universe of ideas, debates, stories. And the most fascinating thing about this journey is that each book will lead you to another, and that other to many more. It is like a network that extends, a network of knowledge that will allow you to see the world with different eyes. If you want to suggest other books on politics, put it in the comments. Get these books at planetalibro.com. I'll leave you the links to each one in the description.